I ran out and saw my mom on the phone, looking upset. She hung up and seemed surprised to see me. She said sorry for the noise but didn't explain. I knew she had been arguing with ISA. For the next few days, Mom stayed with us. It was easier for one person to move than three. ISA kept trying to contact Mom, but she told me to block ISA. It felt good to have someone understand my pain. Later, I found out from friends that Franklin and ISA got married. My friends were shocked and asked me what happened. It was embarrassing to explain, but they were supportive. They all cut ties with Franklin and ISA. I also learned they got married the day after Franklin left us. It hurt, but I wasn't surprised. When I told Mom, she was furious. She's usually calm, so seeing her that angry was surprising. Mom helped us financially even though she didn't have to. She also helped me get job interviews because I wanted to work now that Franklin was gone. Taking care of the kids was tough, and when they asked about Franklin, I had to hold back tears, but we managed. A week later, I got a letter from Franklin. I didn't want to read it. I guessed it was an apology, but I was done with him. A week was too late to try fixing things, especially after he abandoned us. So, I burned the letter. Later, I was curious about what it said, but I reminded myself that nothing he wrote would change how I felt. The next day, Mom and I took the kids to the fair. We had fun, and for the first time in a while, I laughed and enjoyed myself. That night, Mom and I had some wine, and I told her about the letter. I got a letter from Franklin yesterday. Oh, what did it say? I don't know. I burned it. You burned it? Yes. I didn't want to deal with whatever he had to say. What if it was something important? It didn't look like legal papers. It was probably a weak apology or him asking for his stuff back. How are you feeling about everything now? Today was a good day, but it's still hard. The kids keep asking about their dad. I don't know what to tell them. It's getting better, but only a little. I'm always here for you, and I want you to know, I'm cutting ISA off. Everything I have will go to you and the kids. Mom, that means a lot, but are you sure? ISA is still your daughter. What she did is unforgivable. I raised both of you better than this. She is no longer my daughter. I knew that must have been a hard decision for Mom. I couldn't imagine cutting off my own kids, no matter what, but I was grateful for her support. 3 days later, someone knocked on the door. I wasn't expecting anyone. Mom was at work, and no one else visited us. I opened the door carefully and saw 2 men in black suits. I only opened it a little and asked who they were. They said they were lawyers and handed me a note and a check. The check was in my name, and it was for $750,000. I was shocked. I told them it must be a mistake, but they assured me it wasn't. They told me to read the note. The note started with, "Thank you for saving me." It was from my mother-in-law, Sonia. She wrote that she had come to visit 3 days ago but no one was home. She called Franklin, who lied about not being able to get inside. She knew something was wrong and pressured him until he told her everything. She was disgusted by what he had done. Sonia felt sorry for me and the kids. She decided to leave all her money to us instead of Franklin. She thanked me for protecting her from making a mistake by trusting him. The lawyers told me that Sonia had been very sick and had passed away the day before. She wanted me to have the money immediately to take care of the kids. I cried. Sonia had always stood up for what was right. Franklin was afraid of her, but I had always found her kind. She kept her promise and helped us until the end. A few days later, Franklin called. I already knew what he wanted, but I answered anyway. "What did you do?" "What do you mean?" "You know exactly what I mean. Franklin, you'll have to be more specific. Why weren't you home that day? I told you to be there." "Oh, was that what the letter said? You didn't read it?" "No, I burned it. You betrayed me. My mother was going to help me, but you stole the money." "That's funny, coming from you. You left your family, and now you're only calling because of the inheritance. I did what was best for me, and your mother did what was best for us. Don't ever contact me or the kids again. Goodbye." After that, everything moved fast. I filed for divorce and got full custody of the kids. Franklin tried to fight for the inheritance, but Sonia had made it clear it was mine. He didn't win. Franklin and ISA kept trying to get money from me, but I refused. Life got better after that. I saved some money for the kids' college and invested the rest. Mom retired, and I started working. The kids have accepted that their dad isn't coming back. When they're older, I'll tell them everything. It still hurts, but I know things will only get better from here. I'm sorry, Harry, but we have to let you go. I heard these words when I was called into the HR office. My name is Harry, and I used to work full-time at a grocery store, but that day, I lost my job because the store was struggling with money. Over the past few years, they had been letting people go, and now it was my turn. I rode my bicycle home slowly, not in the mood to cook dinner. Instead, I thought about grabbing a burger and took a quiet backstreet on the way. As I neared the burger shop, I noticed an elderly woman sitting on the ground. "Are you okay?" I quickly stopped my bike and ran over. She had fallen and hurt her leg. She couldn't stand up on her own and looked worried since no one else was around. "Could you help me up? I need something to hold on to," she said, wincing in pain. She seemed able to walk, though she had a limp. I picked up her spilled groceries and put them back in her bag. "Looks like nothing got crushed," I said. "Thank you, you're very kind," she said gratefully. Then she looked at me closely. "Wait, aren't you the guy from the grocery store?" I realized she was a regular customer. Seeing a familiar face seemed to comfort her. She tried to take her grocery bags, but she clearly couldn't carry them. I asked if someone could pick her up, but no one was home at the time. Worried she might fall again, I decided to walk her home. "I'm so sorry for the trouble, Harry." "Thank you," she said, holding onto my arm as we walked slowly. "If you could help me to the handrail, I'll be fine from there. Thank you so much." She kept apologizing, so I smiled and told her it was no problem. "You're always so nice," she said. "You have such a warm smile at the store, and it brightens my day." Her kind words made me feel both happy and a little sad. I let out a small laugh. "You seem down," she said, looking at me with concern. "Is something wrong?" "Actually, today was my last day at the store," I admitted. "Oh no, did you get a new job?" she asked. I told her the truth. I had been laid off. We reached her home, a nice house with flower beds on both sides of the walkway. The garden lights lit up our path as we headed to the door. "You can set the bags here. That must have been heavy. I'm really grateful you were passing by," she said. Seeing the step at the entrance, I worried she might fall again. "Would you like me to carry the bags inside?" I offered. She smiled. "Well, if you don't mind, that would be very helpful." After I placed the groceries inside, she kindly offered me tea. Just then, her phone rang. "Oh, it's Sophia," she said before answering. "Yes, I'm okay, no need to rush. Could you pick up some lunch?" "Yes, thank you, dear." She hung up and turned to me. "That was my granddaughter. She'll be home soon." Hearing that, I got ready to leave. "Wait," she said. "Sophia is bringing lunch, and she got one for you too. She's already picked it up, so please stay and have some with us." I hesitated but decided to accept her offer. As we waited, she talked about her granddaughter. Sophia had lost her parents in a car accident when she was young. Since then, it had just been the two of them. Even though Sophia was an adult now, she still lived at home and always took care of her grandmother. "She's so kind and responsible," the elderly woman said. "She comes straight home from work every day without taking time for herself." Then she sighed. "I just wish she'd think about her own happiness, too," she said. "I worry she won't date anyone because she's too busy taking care of me." Then, suddenly, she smiled at me. "You know, I'd love it if someone like you married her. What do you think? She's a wonderful girl, very smart." I was completely caught off guard. My heart started racing. Was this normal in the service industry? At the grocery store, I'd had customers jokingly try to set me up with their daughters. I knew my female coworkers got similar comments from older customers about their sons. It was always awkward. Before I could respond, I heard a voice from the entrance. "I'm home." I turned to see Sophia walking in. "I'm so sorry for the trouble," she said, looking at me apologetically. "Thank you for helping my grandma." She was in her office clothes, her hair neatly tied back. She had a fair complexion, bright eyes, and a soft, kind expression. I found myself momentarily speechless. Her grandmother beamed. "Sophia, this is the nice young man who helped me. He works at the grocery store I always visit. Such a kind soul." Then, with a mischievous smile, she added, "What do you think of him? Maybe he could be your future husband." Sophia's face turned red. "What, Grandma, don't say that. That's rude," she protested, flustered. "Oh, but I've met him many times before," her grandmother insisted. I laughed. You two seem very close. Sophia sighed, then turned to me. Thank you again for today, she said, handing me a packed lunch. I accepted it gratefully. Her grandmother grinned. Why not eat it now? Sophia quickly intervened. Grandma, stop, he probably has things to do. I politely declined but thanked them both. As Sophia walked me to the door, I put on my shoes and turned back. Her grandmother was slowly making her way over, still limping. Thank you so much, she said. I'm sorry for keeping you late. Please visit again sometime.